The promise that gamblers can walk out of a casino a winner is exhilarating, and they convince themselves that they can do so. However, the house always has an edge over them. But not to these few people. Here are 5 more gamblers who beat the casino. Number 5. Ida Summers. Ida was a woman who, at a glance, you would never believe to be a casino cheater, but she ruled in the 60s and 70s, raking in tens and thousands of dollars from casinos using guile and shiftiness. She specialized in hand-mucking and coolers at the blackjack tables. This technique involved concealing a card that had already been brought to the table or removed from the game. This would then, through sleight of hand, be brought back to the table to the benefit of the player. Ida was attractive with striking good looks, which helped her go a long way to deflect the heat from herself as she switched the cards. Her cunning ways helped her make her way into Las Vegas, and she became even more brazen. She further began to insert cold decks and coolers into the game. Ida was able to execute her moves effortlessly and unnoticed, and she remained invisible for a long time. She became a legend, but it was only a matter of time before the FBI hunted her down and ended her casino cheating. Number 4. Louis the Coin Colapcio. Colapcio was able to duplicate anything that was made out of precious metals and stones and use this to his advantage to become a professional gambler. And in the late 90s, a search of his premises by FBI found thousands of manufactured slot tokens from dozens of casinos throughout North America. But the coins weren't just duplicates, they were that good, essentially they were the same thing. Colapcio was able to decimate casinos in Vegas before the law had any perception of his crimes. It wasn't until large surpluses of coins showed up on the casino's inventory in other parts of the continent that the law realized he was cashing in large sums of coins. The exact amount he cashed in is still unknown, but it's estimated anything between $100,000 to $500,000. In court, a plea deal was reached, and Colapcio had to show the law enforcement exactly how the coins were made to prevent it from happening to casinos again in the future. Number 3. MIT Blackjack Team. Possibly one of the best gamblers is this one. A team of brilliant students decided to come together to use statistics-based systems to beat the game of blackjack. It all started at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, and little did they know they'd become famous card counters. They put flyers up around the campus for students to apply to join the team, who would then learn the system of card counting, which would give them a slight yet substantial edge over the house. The idea of card counting was already known, but the MIT team took it to a whole new level. Their team arrangement minimized their chances of being caught, and they were able to mask their activity from the casinos very well. They spent hours upon hours perfecting the system, and members had to pass grueling tests before being able to visit a real, live casino. They then required financial backing from investors and invaded Vegas casinos with hundreds of thousands of dollars. Their return far exceeded their expectations with $400,000 of winnings in just one weekend. Eventually, casinos started to notice the team, and after a few brushes with the law, the original members dropped out. Photos were shared to the school database, which caused the team to shut down with a profit of over $5 million. Number 2. Richard Marcus. He's one of the most successful gamblers in the history of casino gambling, and it all started with a gambling addiction that went wrong. He went from living under a bridge to becoming a blackjack and baccarat dealer when he first came up with his sinister ideas. He named his best roulette strategy the Savannah, which involved betting a low denomination of chips, such as $3 $5 bets, to avoid any kind of attention. If he won, he would show excitement just like the average gambler. The dealer would wonder why he became so happy with such a modest win, and this is when Marcus would strike. Marcus would then alert the dealer that there was a brown $500 chip underneath the $3 $5 chips, and upon checking, there was, which was all done by Marcus's extremely difficult to pull off hand maneuver. Alternatively, if Marcus didn't win, he would remove the $500 chip without anyone noticing. This move wasn't unknown to casinos. The difference was Marcus did it backwards, and casinos were not on the lookout for this, leaving him unnoticed. At the top of his game, he and his accomplices were dropping $5,000 chips under $100 ones. Of course, he was eventually caught and prosecuted, but not after he had collected roughly $5 million in profits. He also claims in his released books that he is still involved in casino cheating, and claims he'll never get caught. Number 1. Edward Thorpe. Finally, onto the most professional casino gambler of all time, and the father of famous card counters, Edward Thorpe. He invented the original system and was a mathematics professor who had a master's degree in physics and a doctorate degree in mathematics. After a friend introduced him to a casino in Vegas, he became very interested in blackjack and later became convinced that there was a mathematical way to gain advantage and beat the house. He studied the game extensively and simulated billions of blackjack hands to delve further into the game. He learned that smaller cards were more advantageous for the dealer, and when left in the deck, the advantage shifted to the player, meaning they should bet more. Using this method, Thorpe calculated that he could own up to a 5-degree advantage over the house. He and his accomplices invaded Vegas casinos, lining their pockets with cash, and since he was the inventor of card counting, casinos were completely unaware of the cheat. It wasn't until he started winning huge sums of cash that casino bosses were alerted that he must be cheating. He was asked to leave at multiple casinos because he was winning too much. In 1962, Thorpe later went on to write a book which detailed his 10-count system, which became an instant hit, making him a fortune. He later went on to write the second book too. He later applied his mathematics into the stock market, making even more cash, and was eventually one of the first 7 inducted into the Blackjack Hall of Fame. So, what do you think? Do you think you can try your hand at the casino and make it to the list? Share your thoughts in the comments section below and be sure to subscribe for more interesting videos like this.